All right, 8-5, day 3. Let's get this organized here. Okay, we are going to be right at the top of the mountain with these. We're going to be revolving around either a horizontal or vertical line. That's not the x-axis or y-axis. So that will affect your radius. So remember our two formulas. Volume of a cylinder, pi r squared h. And you get a cylinder when your rectangle touches the axis you're going around. And then we've got the volume of the washer is pi r1 squared minus r2 squared h. And you get this when your rectangle has a gap to the axis of revolution. So, like I said, we're going to be rotating around a horizontal or vertical line that's not the x-axis or y-axis. So, let's try 2 of these. I should do 3, but we'll see how I do. Let's see. So we're going to take the region bounded by y equals 2 minus x squared and y equals 1. So bounded by these two means there's going to be a fenced-in region. So these two are going to intersect each other, making the region we're going to rotate. And we are going to rotate around y equals 1. So graphs are big on all of these. So this here I know is an upside down parabola, vertex up at 2. So I'm just going to make this my 2. This is going to be 1. This is going to be 2. Then I've got the horizontal line y equals 1. And then, so here's my region that's fenced in. Apparently I can't chew gum and give notes at the same time. So we're going around y equals 1. Now think about the way our rectangle has to go. Y equals 1 is a horizontal line. We treat it like it's an x-axis. So our rectangle is going to be perpendicular to it. So now I can see that my my rectangle is touching the axis. So this, when this rotates around, is going to be a cylinder, not a washer. And now I need my intersections. I'll find that first. Then I'll come back and get my radius of my cylinders. So my intersections are where the parabola equals 1. So I can do the algebra here and say 2 minus x squared has to equal that y value of 1 that I have. So I'll subtract 2 over. That'll be a negative 1. Divide by the negative 1. Take the square root. And here I will get positive and negative 1. So negative 1, positive 1. And I want to see x's in my equation because this is like going around the x-axis, just a parallel to it. So volume, we're going from negative 1 to 1. Okay. The radius. Now remember, my top of my rectangle is the equation. The bottom is at 1. So if I want just this distance, it's top minus bottom, so it's my parabola. 2 minus x squared minus the bottom, which is at 1. So my radius is going to be, it'll be 1 minus x squared. And now I'm ready to go over here. Pi. This is my radius squared dx. Okay, can I do a power rule here? Well, I could if I had another x to slide over here. I do not, because the inside derivative is negative 2x. Can't do that. So I have no option but to FOIL this out and then do each separate term. Okay, pi. Foiling this. That'll give me 1. It'll be a minus x squared and another minus x squared. That's going to be minus 2x squared. It'll be plus x to the 4th. And again, that power of 1 out here lets me do each term separately. Antiderivative of this will be x. This will be 2x to the 3rd times 1/3. So it'll be 2/3 x cubed. And this will be x to the 5th times 1/5. And we're going from -1 to 1. Let's see. So just using the calculator, we got pi x minus 2/3 x cubed plus, I know that's 0.2 x to the 5th. I want to go to 1. So when I put 1 in, it's 1.6755 minus going to -1, a negative 1.6755. So that'll become adding. And I will get about 3.36. Well, 6755 times 2. 351. There it is. Okay. So your radius is affected. I guess I want to go back and talk about that a little bit. Because remember, when I talk about the point being on the equation, that's going from the x-axis up. That's what that y value is giving us. But we had to take off this lower chunk here. So it was subtract the 1. Keep that in mind as we do this same region around a different line. So number 2, we're going to take that same region in example 1, but this time we're going to revolve around, I believe it's x or y equals -2. So okay, so if I make that 1, I'll make that 2. Here's my upside down parabola, and I'm going to stop it at the 1 because I know that's where my horizontal line is going to cross. This is the x-axis. Here is my line y equals 1, and I'm going to go around y equals -2. So this is -1. This is -2. So we're going to rotate around this axis. So again, that axis is parallel to the x-axis. When I draw in my rectangles, they will be perpendicular. And now I see a big gap. So this tells me washer. So we need our R1 and our R2. I already know these intersections are -1 and -2. So think about it. R1 has to go from my axis all the way to the far end of my rectangle. So what I know is from here to the x-axis, that's a distance of 2. I'm talking distance here. Radius is a length. That's a distance of 2 because it's at -2. Now the distance from the axis to the top of my rectangle is my equation. So my R1 is my equation, which was 2 minus x squared. I didn't write it down. Plus this extra 2. So my R1 is going to be, oops, forgot my squared, 4 minus x squared. My R2 is the distance from this -2 to the bottom of the rectangle. Well, I can see no matter where I'm at, that distance is always going to be a 3 because it's 2 to the x-axis. And this being that, with this being at 1, it's an additional 1. So this distance is always 3. So my R2 is just the constant 3. Now it's ready to go into the volume formula. So to get that volume, we're going to do the antiderivative from -1 to 1. I figured those out in example 1. Pi. Washer formula says take your R1 and square it. It's 4 minus x squared squared. Then subtract your R2 squared. So we are going to have to, because I don't have the extra x here, I do have to FOIL this out. 4 minus x squared and 4 minus x squared. And then I have that -9 there that I'll tag along. So not calculus yet, just algebra. 4 times 4 is going to give me 16. Minus 4x, that's -8, actually x squared. That'll be plus x to the 4th. I got a -9. Okay, and then here, I can combine my 16 and my -9. That will give me a 7 minus 8x squared plus x to the 4th with my pi. And again, with that power of 1 here, do each term separately. So, pi, it'll be 7x. This will be x cubed 1/3, so a -8/3 x cubed plus a 1/5 x to the 5th. And we'll plug in -1 and 1. Let's say we want 7x minus 8/3 x cubed. Oh, shoot. 3. Oh. There we go. Plus 1/5 x to the 5th. All right. 1 is 14.242 minus a -14.242. And so then doubling that, final answer, 28.484. I'm gonna do that one. I don't have a sideways one. Well, if you get stuck on the sideways ones, we'll talk about them in class. But that is it. Mm.